Hi, I'm Irving, and a while back I asked what you wanted to see for my 1,000 subscriber video. The options were the Green Hornet movie, the unaired Lost in Space pilot, or Return to the Cape Crusaders. The votes are in. It was close between the two front runners, but the winner by a nose is... Truth be told, it wasn't that close. We love us some Batman, and that's that. It's a good idea to pay attention to these intro scenes because they're showing us the first appearances of each of the characters, starting with Batman himself in the early Detective comics, the introduction of Robin the Boy Wonder, Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, and Riddler. We see the covers and sometimes a few pages where they all made their debuts in the comics. We only had 3 of the actors left, so while we had Adam West as Batman and Burt Ward as Robin, the only remaining villain was Julie Newmar as Catwoman. We got substitutes for the other 3, but they don't get their names up here in the opening credits. Only the originals qualify for that honor. As things wrap up, we zoom in on stately Wayne Manor where Dick is working on his ballet. He's really excited about it.
Very good, Dick. You'll be doing multiple double tours in no time.
Gosh, Bruce, kids don't ballet dance. I mean, I feel ridiculous in these tights.
Robin's reverse aging hasn't stopped. At the beginning of season 3, he just got his driver's license. Now he's concerned about kids doing ballet like he's a preteen.
The discipline of ballet promotes balance, flexibility, and strength. All useful things in our never-ending fight against crime.
The first thing I notice, and I hate to more or less start on such a note, is Adam West does not sound good. He sounds tired and sounds as though he's struggling to put the right spin on the lines. But when we consider that we lost him to the ravages of time less than a year after this appeared, I'm not going to come down on him for it. I'm going to be thankful he was able to do it at all.
Now that's enough practice for one night. Gotham Palace is on, and even crime fighters need mindless entertainment sometimes.
That line should be enshrined in a memorial to Adam West somewhere. Even crime fighters need some mindless entertainment sometimes.
And here's your host, that international starlet of stage and screen, Miranda Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I see why it's Dick's favorite show, too. Though they're always saying he's too young to appreciate... She introduces the band, Hector and the Ho-Daddies. I think something got plugged in backwards.
Those aren't the Ho-Daddies.
No, it's that mocking mountebank of Malice, the Joker.
Or maybe it's the wrong band. And if you like that bit of alliteration, prepare yourself for more than you ever wanted.
Oh, sorry, kitties, but the Ho-Daddies have decided to play a smaller venue, the broom closet backstage. Woo!
That is a passable Cesar Romero Joker. I'm impressed so far. We're doing our best to stay true to the original material.
Bruce, look! It's that black-hearted bearer of a billion bumbershoots, the Penguin!
Complete with his bulbous beak and bad breath.
And the prince of perverted puzzles, the Riddler!
Here to puzzle, perplex, petrify, and putrefy your mind.
Riddle me this. What kind of band doesn't play music? Answer. A band of thieves.
Also a pretty good voice, very close to Frank Gorshin. I didn't mention Penguin's voice yet because we didn't get to hear a whole lot of it. We'll discuss it in due time.
And of course that dominatrix of deviltry.
Catwoman needs no introduction.
Bruce had an interesting time explaining to Dick what a dominatrix is. The 4 villains hear police sirens, so they make their exit. They didn't do anything. They made noise and tied the band up in a closet. I'm not sure what the point of that was, unless it was to tell Batman that the 4 of them have teamed up again. It's a riddle for Batman, you knotheads. There's no need to duck. At Wayne Manor, we meet Alfred and Aunt Harriet.
Yes, Alfred. No doubt the commissioner's already calling.
Oh,
Mercy alive! Why, you'd think you were Batman and Robin rushing out like that.
We were just going fishing, Aunt Harriet.
Aunt? In the series, he always said aunt.
Land's sake. You two sure do fish a lot.
We find it's a great way to relax from the pressures of being a millionaire playboy and his teenage ward.
Bruce also had an interesting time explaining to Dick what a playboy is.
Can you believe the lengths those two go to keep their little secret?
Secret, ma'am?
Why, Alfred, you really don't see it?
No, I do not. Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe the upstairs doorknobs need polishing. Good day, madam.
This could get very interesting. If she's known all along, that would be why she drops little hints like that now and again. But how did she find out, and why has she been playing along all this time? No time to ponder that right now. To the bat poles! The series never really made it clear that the Batcave is 300 feet underground. You don't want to know what it took to install those poles. Batmobile exit tunnel designed by Joel Hodgson.
Poor people have it. Rich people need it. If you eat it, you die. What is it?
Nothing.
I can't come up with anything either, Batman.
No, Chief. The answer is nothing.
Then O'Hara should have gotten that one. It's what's inside his head.
How can nothing be a clue when it's not even a thing?
In this case, nothing is certainly something.
I'm trying to decide if I like Gordon's mustache or not. He had it all through the comics, and it was a running gag in some of the letters pages of the Batman comics that someday he would have to shave it to match Neil Hamilton in the series. Clearly that didn't happen, and I'm deciding I like it. It's a subtle little homage to the comics at the same time that we're tipping our hat to the series. Well done. Having said that, it's time for some good old Batman logic. We haven't had a new dose of this since 1968.
Robin?
Let's see. 0, zilch, goose egg.
Precisely.
Farmer Jones delivered a shipment of his prize-winning goose eggs to the local market just last week.
Wouldn't penguin eggs be more appropriate?
They're after eggs?
It's not what was delivered, Commissioner, rather when.
Last Tuesday, which was also the night of the total lunar eclipse.
That means the eggs will hatch into zombie geese. I'll bet those villains intend to take control of the zombie geese and terrorize the city.
You see, it's really quite simple. The Atomic Energy Laboratory, headed by our old friend Professor Nichols, just opened a new wing dedicated to the science of total lunar eclipses. And I'll bet my cowl the laboratory is where those felonious fiends are going to strike next.
To do what? What's valuable there that they would want?
Of course. How could I not see it myself?
Your brain just isn't warped enough, Commissioner.
Come on, Robin. There's a bad moon on the rise.
I'm going to tell John Fogerty. They speed over to the lab, though they have enough extra time for this.
Not so fast, old chum.
But we're in a hurry, Batman.
Jaywalking is extremely hazardous, especially at night. As duly deputized officers of the law, it is imperative we follow the rules.
Gosh, yes, you're right, Batman. No one's above the law, even when you're trying to enforce it.
Quickly, Robin, to the crosswalk.
Said crosswalk is roughly 5 feet away. So let's hurry. This looks like the annual running of the 50-meter meander. Inside, we find out what the villains are after.
The replica ray has the ability to scan an object and create an identical version. Observe!
I can't blame him. That replica ray could come in handy, especially if you could pull in a big haul of loot and then duplicate it. Joker hits them with laughing gas and Riddler takes charge of the ray. Briefly.
The only thing these fiends will be multiplying with that device is their prison sentences.
Great! great quivering jellyfish, the dynamic dunderheads. Into the fray, my finless finks!
That's our Penguin voice. It sounds nothing like Burgess Meredith, although when he does the whack, 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 he's pretty close. We did the best we could, but I have to admit this one is a little disappointing. Although, the Penguin's distinctive voice happened because Burgess Meredith ruined his voice with years of smoking. We probably shouldn't sacrifice somebody's health for this. The fight scene makes up for it a bit. We have all the good old stuff from the series, but we can add stunts and such with animation that they couldn't do with practical effects in the 60s. It's delightful. Predictably, somewhere during the fight, Batman falls face first into Catwoman's arms.
Oh, Batman, give up this life of excessive do-gooding and join us.
As if Batman would do that.
What do you say?
I say, renounce your evil ways, Catwoman.
As if Catwoman would do that. Just tell her who you are. When she finds out you're filthy rich, she'll marry you and all will be well. Every once in a while, you can change the combination on your safe so she can crack it just to stay in practice.
Cease this infernal flirting!
Three Catwomen?
Is that so bad?
Of course it is. Now he has to pick just one. Perhaps not.
He has to choose Julie Newmar, Lee Meriwether, or Eartha Kitt. Anybody got a D3 he can roll for this? The villains hop in the Joker's car and it's time for the chase scene. Hey artists, that's not Frank Gorshin. That's Bing Crosby. He never played the Riddler. The replica ray is a tad more effective than the Bazooka. They make their escape, leaving a clue behind.
Tinfoil? What does it mean, Batman?
We were foiled, Robin. A taunt from our arrogant adversaries.
They'll take it back to the Bat Cave and have the Bat Computer Bat analyze it any Bat way I think I'm stuck, and the Bat Computer comes up with a Bat substance on the Bat foil.
Amorphous semi-crystalline layers.
Starch?
More precisely, gravy.
So what does it mean?
Take all the clues together. The foil, the gravy.
Holy Salisbury steak! That could only mean...
Right again, old chum. The Fitzsimon's TV dinner factory is where they're holed up. Let's go.
You're sure it's not that buffet place down the street with the great mashed potatoes and gravy? Batman logic says no. And of course he's right. Off to the TV dinner factory. At said factory, the villains are arguing about the best way to use the replica ray and getting nowhere.
Enough caterwauling. None of it'll matter if Batman stops us like he always does.
She says if we really want to run this city, we have to get Batman on our side. The others say, great idea. How you gonna do it?
I call it Batnip. One scratch, and mass muscles will be mine to manipulate.
Penguin is skeptical. It's been tried before and didn't work. She says, I guarantee this will, so let's get ready. He should be on his way. Batman has already guessed it's a trap, so they won't use the front door. Or any door.
Really feeling the burn in the legs, Batman. That ballet practice took a lot out of me.
Thus supporting my suspicion you've been focusing too much on your upper body strength during workouts.
Gee whiz, I have been spending a lot of time on my biceps.
You can take that any way you want to. He's a teenage boy. Inside, they square off with the three male villains and leave them in a groaning pile of sore spots on the floor.
One last time, Catwoman. I implore you to turn yourself in without a fight.
You will be gentle with me, Batman.
You have my assurance I will handle you personally.
Now Robin is really working on his biceps.
But first, may I fix my hair? I always like to look good for the judge.
A woman as beauteous as yourself should be allowed to look her best.
She's played you like this before, Batman, but his mind is too busy trying to keep from working on his own biceps.
Holy noxious gas!
Black Widow did the same thing. Catwoman did the same thing with a fake compact. These two never learn. They wake up tied to a giant TV dinner. Catwoman says, "It doesn't have to be this way. You can join us."
I live by a set of immalleable principles.
Ah, that's where this comes in. After a dose, I think you'll find your principles less rigid.
Your biceps may experience the opposite effect. She says, "Now kiss me."
I
Batman, no! Don't do it!
will.
Don't do it!
Will. Not.
Why not? Just kiss her like you've wanted to do since day one and get it out of your system. It doesn't mean you're actually joining her, you know. You're just taking advantage of the opportunity of a lifetime. The potion didn't work. Joker says, "I'll bet fire will," and throws the switch. Hello, TV Dinner Factory. I need 50 dinners with no protein, large enough to hold 2 adults. How quick can you get those out to me? Why does the place have this? How many orders do they get for dinners that size? If they get any, I'd be very afraid. As required, the villains don't stay around to see the end. Robin says, "How are we going to get out of this one?" Batman says, "The key is in the dessert."
The dessert is a lemon tart.
Holy citric enzymes! Lemons are acidic!
Correct, Robin. Now, if I can just cover my ropes with this lemon filling, the acidic content might be enough to weaken my bonds.
If you made a lemon tart that can dissolve rope, you put in too much of something. Of course it works. Now we need to figure out what they want to do with the replica ray.
Can you believe it? Those Bolsheviks in Belgravia have launched another manned space flight.
Shameful indeed, Chief. It seems when it comes to the space race, we've fallen even further behind.
Watching television while on the job? I certainly don't condone that, Commissioner.
He gives them a real dressing down about it. Doesn't he work for them and not the other way around? There haven't been any reports of any kind of mischief or mayhem by the 4 criminals, so it's back to the Batcave to try and figure out what they're up to.
Harriet Cooper, you know this is Bruce's hallowed and forbidden no woman's land. Oh, but I just know he's hiding something. A red phone. My, how unique.
Bruce tears into her and she scurries out, but Bruce isn't finished.
Aunt Harriet almost uncovered our most intimate of secrets, our true identities as crime fighters. It's your job to keep her away from this study.
Deepest apologies, sir. It won't happen again.
No, it won't. You're dismissed.
For the night.
Forever.
Yep, he just fired Alfred. Good luck finding somebody who can replace him, genius. But by now it's obvious that Catwoman's chemical is working on him, it's just acting slowly. He's turning into a world-class jerk. They head out to find those 4 ferocious felons. They search everywhere. And I do mean everywhere. No, I'm not going to comment on them wearing their capes outside their dive suits. Just saying the phrase underwater cape is enough.
Holy dragnet! We've looked everywhere, Batman. Downtown, uptown, in the bay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they've given up. I mean, it's either that or they're not on this planet.
Great Scott, that's it, Robin.
They're not anywhere in Gotham City, so they must not be on this planet. This is Batman's conclusion. He uses Occam's razor. The likelihood of all 4 of them giving up is exactly 0. Therefore, the other option must be the right one. They hitched a ride on that Belgravian rocket into space. But there's a third option. They're on this planet, but they're not in Gotham City. No, that's way too far-fetched. Gotham City is the only inhabitable place on the whole globe. Even Belgravia is such a wasteland it's only populated by robots. Nope, there's no question. They're on that rocket. Going where?
The Approaching space station, comrade.
Oh, the Belgravians have a space station. We knew that.
Prepare to dock.
Oh, pardon me, boys.
Is that the Chattanooga Choo-Choo?
But could you direct me to the powder room in this tin can? No? Then I'm afraid you'll have to take a powder. Pengy?
Do any of them know how to dock this thing to the station? You may wish you hadn't done that.
To the Bat Rocket.
Now we know why the Batcave is 300 feet underground, to hold that thing. And this was when they discovered the design flaw. The door was at the top and there was no ladder to get there. They went outside to that big retractable cover and tried to jump in from there. Since Alfred had been fired, there was nobody to clean up the mess. All anybody knew was Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, Batman, and Robin were never seen or heard from again. It's a mystery to this day.
Gosh, Batman, I never thought we'd need the Bat Rocket on one of our cases.
Then what did you think it was for?
An intergalactic spaceship is just another tool in a crime fighter's arsenal.
Intergalactic? You're going to a space station that's orbiting the Earth. That's not even interplanetary. A little full of ourselves, Batman? The Bat Rocket takes off. We're still supposed to be in the 60s as far as I know. If people in a major American city had seen that, they would have run screaming for the fallout shelters. We were terrified down to our socks of nuclear war. Seeing a missile like that would have thrown the whole country into a panic. But the good folks of Gotham City know it's the Bat Rocket. Somehow.
This will go down in history as the greatest caper in the universe.
And when we three are done, there'll be no one to stop us.
And now it's time for our lesson about honor among thieves.
There are 4 cats in this litter, you pudgy peon.
Yes, but one runt which must get tossed out.
Treachery. But why?
You're soft on Batman.
She starts fighting for her life and trying to get away from him. Meanwhile, the Batmobile? Really? Maybe not. This thing has 2 jets on the back and the interior is different. It just looks exactly like the Batmobile, so it's easier to find in a parking lot.
It's some space station, Batman.
A top-secret joint venture between our government and the government of Belgravia. Ultimately, our 2 countries couldn't figure out a way to work together, and it was abandoned.
What a waste.
Yes. From up here, it becomes clear that we're all one people.
Somehow, they dock with the space station and put on their bat spacesuits, complete with magnetic boots. And as always, a bat climb is time for a lecture.
You see, Robin, there are consequences to doing things the easy way. Something villains rarely take into consideration when choosing a life of crime.
Golly, right again, Batman.
World's greatest detective doesn't miss a thing. She's dead, dude. Explosive decompression like that, her lungs burst before she knew it. Likewise for every air pocket in her body, from her inner ears and sinuses to the gas bubble in her colon. No way she survived that.
May I assume your twisted teammates turned the tables on you?
Where's your chivalry, Batman? It's impolite to rub your masculine superiority in a woman's face.
So I was wrong. The power of Batman protected her. How silly of me not to know that.
Serves you right, you depraved creature.
Are you sure we can't kill him?
When you're older, you'll come to appreciate the pungent allure of the feminine mystique, old chum.
Pungent allure. Is he saying she smells bad and he likes it?
Up with your flippers, you unholy 3, and hope that I leave enough of you to put behind prison bars.
But first we have to talk.
How did he find us this time? Why, you quizzical creep.
It wasn't me. I resisted the urge.
He's Batman, you moronic muttonheads, that's how.
You guys should know that by now. And no, Catwoman didn't leave a trail.
I deduce where you were but not why.
Then riddle me this, Batman. How do you hold a party in space? Answer. You plan it.
Only we want to make 3.
Is that little replica ray really that powerful? I doubt it.
Don't worry, Batman. They'll soon be where they belong, behind prison bars.
Actually, Robin, I'm thinking of sending them out of the airlock.
Whoa, I think Catwoman's stuff is definitely working.
By the Marquis of Queensberry, you have to follow the rules.
Do I?
Of course, Batman. As duly deputized officers, we are honor-bound to follow the tenets of the law.
Technically, we're outside of the jurisdiction of Gotham PD. Here, I play by my own rules.
Maybe it's working a little too well. It's fight time.
Time to lighten the mood.
Holy zero G's!
Ahem.
Right on schedule. We may as well hear it.
Space stations simulate gravity using rotation. There is no such thing as an anti-gravity switch, as such a switch would merely fire small jets to first slow and then stop entirely the rotation of the station.
Rotation of the station is a genuine sensation. All across the nation we express our appreciation for the rotation of the station.
You are a rude little man.
We get a wonderful zero-gravity fight, the kind of thing that they couldn't do with the practical effects they had available in this series. It's well-directed and a lot of fun. I wish I could show it to you.
You fiends!
You know he planned that. He calculated the angles while he was ricocheting around the room.
Let's do this.
Uh-oh. Looks like Batman has thrown off all restraint. It's not about their scheme or breaking the law or even trying to kill his lady friend anymore. He just wants to hurt somebody.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
While he's breaking bones and serving up concussions, Catwoman spots an escape pod and does the obvious.
Look! Catwoman got away!
That tricky temptress. She won't escape my grasp the next time we cross paths, but I'll enjoy her trying.
Batman carried the unconscious villains to the airlock. When Robin tried to stop him, he knocked Robin out and put him in the airlock too. After Robin was dead, Batman and Catwoman lived happily ever after.
I'll just throw the replica ray in the Batcave. It's too dangerous to fall into the wrong hands.
Why not give it back to the people it belongs to?
Once again, we owe a debt of gratitude we can never fully repay. But know that you will forever be... Batman? Where did Batman go?
Begorra, he just disappeared, like a bat in the night.
Very dramatic indeed, and not like Batman at all.
Look at that. Batman has finally learned how to be rude.
I know from whom he learned it.
What are you, 9? Batman drives off without Robin, and Robin winds up borrowing a bicycle to get home. Home as Robin or home as Dick Grayson? And if he got home as Dick Grayson, where do you get the clothes?
You are on the verge of triggering the alarm. Please desist.
What can I say? When he's right, he's right. Bruce is watching TV and acting strangely when Aunt Harriet comes in.
Mercy, you two are back from your fishing trip already?
Something wrong with that, Aunt Harriet?
Oh, don't mind me.
Please tell me exactly what's so amusing.
It's just...
Out with it, you silly old woman.
Heavens! Will I never... Oh.
Dick says, I can't take this change in you anymore.
And I can't fight this feeling anymore.
No, he says, you're heartless and cruel. Don't you even care about Alfred?
Well, Dickie, if you're so concerned about Alfred, you're free to join him. On Skid Row.
Naturally, that's where Alfred is. We get a shot of him digging through trash cans and give me a break. Alfred is smart enough to put money away for an emergency. He's got a good enough resume to get another job immediately. You cannot tell me that Alfred No Name, his real name is Pennyworth, fell from stately Wayne Manor clear to Skid Row in that amount of time. Bruce rips the red phone out of the wall and throws it in the fire. Instantly, a crime wave hits the city and the police are powerless. Gordon and O'Hara are lamenting it all when Batman appears.
Where have you been, Batman?
Thinking, Commissioner. I've been trying to figure out why you two are in charge of anything.
Surely you jest, Batman.
It's you two who jest, by calling yourselves police officers.
I've sometimes wondered how they got to where they are, but he's going out of his way to be mean about it.
I take a little time off and look at the state of Gotham City.
He does make a valid point. Word gets out that Batman is on vacation and the city falls apart, but he's rubbing their noses in it.
Now, please remove your uniforms.
Gordon's wearing a suit. Nevertheless, Batman makes him take it off. Suits all look alike to me, but I never thought of them as a uniform. Gordon says the city can't run without a police commissioner-in-chief. Batman says, your replacements are right here, and pulls out the replica ray. So he's going to duplicate them? How does that help? A copy of a doofus is still a doofus.
Three Batmen?
One for each Catwoman. I give it 5 minutes before they're arguing over which Batman gets which Catwoman and vice versa.
Ready to run Gotham with a firm glove, Batman. Bagara.
It's an absolute disaster and I cannot stop laughing. He makes more and more copies of himself, and soon we have Batman all over the city filling every job from mayor to bakery chef. Cut to a garage where we see the Batmobile being towed away. And replaced by a dragon on crack. In his rundown apartment, Dick is trying to work on his ballet.
Holy plie. How am I supposed to focus on my progressions when Batman progresses down a road of darkness? Progresses? How did I not see it before?
You didn't see it before because it wasn't in the script yet.
Catwoman's Batnip did work. It's just been working slowly. If I'm going to save Batman, I need to go to the source.
He has a closet full of Robin costumes. Good to know he packed the really important stuff. He parades into Catwoman's club and basically says, here I am, capture me.
Sarsaparilla on the rocks. Please. Oh! Oh!
Request granted.
I hope you're proud of what you've done to Batman, you hateful hussy.
That's certainly the best way to enlist her help.
I wanted him to be bad, but not that bad. You do know the difference, don't you?
Give me the antidote, you licentious Lucretia.
Robin, give it a rest. You need her help, and calling her names isn't the way to get it. She says, I have an antidote, we just have to get him to take it.
We?
You know how fond I am of Batman. Were it not for his unfortunate devotion to good, we'd be an item. Besides, the way he saved me from those double-crossers, I suppose I owe him.
Can I trust you?
Cross my heart. I promise not to kill you. For now.
She lets him out of the cage and takes him to her vehicle.
Are you old enough to drive one of these?
Gosh, yes. I have my learner's permit, which means I can drive if another adult is in the vehicle.
The movie acts as though season 3 never happened. Batgirl is nowhere to be found. The only little nod to the third season was when they acknowledged Eartha Kitt as one of the Catwomen. As I mentioned before, in the first episode of season 3, Dick Grayson got his driver's license. Now he's back on the learner's permit. Either he was the world's worst driver and got demoted, or this confirms my theory that Robin is aging in reverse. Let's see, check the runtime. Yeah, he should be about 8 by the time the film is over. And why is he driving anyway?
Remember, I'll be watching your every move, Catwoman.
Kid, I always suspected you did.
Robin shifted the car into gear and took off, still wondering what she meant by that.
Where to?
The Batcave. But you're gonna have to take a cat nap for this trip.
Very well. But I expect you to keep your hands to yourself.
Why would anybody want to touch that? Ick!
Yeah, he had to shake off a little nausea there. At least that's what he thinks it is. Weird how that nausea gives him an uncontrollable urge to work on his biceps.
Well, If it isn't the bachelor pad to end all bachelor pads. Should we hide before Batman finds us?
Good idea. You can hide behind that strange car sitting in the Batmobile spot. He won't suspect a thing.
He already knows we're here.
Quite right, boy genius.
Batman and Catwoman immediately go into their little flirting game, except he's totally serious now. So let him do that. She can get close enough to him and she can give him the antidote without tipping him off.
Listen, Batman, Catwoman's batnip worked, only very slowly. That's the reason you're acting this way.
Then it's her I have to thank.
Robin, telling an insane person that they're insane just convinces them that much more that they're not insane. You're going to put him on his guard and make it that much harder for Catwoman to work. Shut up, Robin!
What about you, baby? You want to join me? Isn't that what you wanted all along?
But what about Robin?
Come on, Batman. She said it every time you two ran into each other, so it's finally your turn.
I know. We'll kill him.
Perfect. I'll probably regret this, but a deal is a deal.
Batman didn't see that coming.
That's the antidote, Batman. You'll soon be back to your old self.
Wrong, old chum. I anticipated this move and took the bat anti-antidote.
Or maybe he did. So now we need an anti-antidote antidote. And Alfred's not here to concoct one. Robin says, then I guess it's up to me to stop you myself. Batman says, you're welcome to try, kid.
An old-fashioned duel, Robin?
A utility belt showdown. I accept.
Bat knockout gas.
Bat wake-up gas.
This reminds me more of a Pokemon battle than a Batman fight. They throw gadgets at each other for a few seconds more, then Catwoman has had enough.
Enough of this frivolous falderall.
Sweet dreams, fools.
A second ago, the knockout gas was in a pellet he threw. Now it's in a spray can. Or maybe he carries both. Or maybe we're as concerned about continuity now as we were in 1968. Whatever the case, Robin and Catwoman wake to a terrifying sight.
Holy hydrogen! The nuclear silo!
When I pull this lever, you'll be lowered into the silo at the exact moment it releases its radioactive steam. Any last requests?
How about a kiss? Masked muscles.
Sure thing, pussycat.
Batman brought them over to him, kissed Robin soundly, and then sent them back.
You'll never get away with this, Batman.
Boy, Birdbrain, can't you see we're in the middle of something?
Sorry.
I'm afraid our time's run out. Perhaps we'll meet again in your next life, Catwoman.
I'm guessing she had something in mind to snap him out of it, but Robin's big mouth took care of that. In good villain fashion, Batman leaves before the deed is done. That proves he's never watched his own show, or he'd know better.
Drat, and double drat, my claws have no effect.
Batman uses a special bat cable that doesn't fray.
Perhaps we can swing ourselves to the railing.
He raised it 3 inches, just enough to prevent us from clearing the rail.
Batman was bragging that he taught Robin everything he knew. I guess he taught Catwoman all her tricks, too.
Then how the heck do we get out of here?
I don't think we can. Brace yourself.
In his mentally deficient state, Batman forgot that leaving the lid off the silo when it does that is a bad idea. Wayne Manor and the Batcave became a radioactive waste that even Batman couldn't survive.
How are we alive?
While you were out on the drive here, I sprayed us both with a dose of Bat anti-isotope spray to guard us against any radioactivity.
That doesn't explain how they got out of Batman's unbreakable ropes. Well, see, they're unbreakable, but they're not unmeltable. The intense heat that should have reduced both Robin and Catwoman to standing rib roasts melted the ropes off. The spray not only protected them from the radiation, but also from the heat. It's amazing stuff. I need to remember to pick some more up the next time I'm at the hardware store.
We'll need muscle to stop him.
No one's crazy enough to take on all those Batmen.
You're wrong, Catwoman. There's a whole prison of them.
He wants to cut a prison load of criminals loose so they can take on the Batman copies. What could possibly go wrong?
We're Gotham State Prison Inspectors.
I've never heard of prison inspectors before. Why wasn't I informed of this?
It's a new position, Warden. You do want to ensure the safety of the prisoners and all that garbage, don't you?
Madam, I assure you, we go by the book.
Oh, is that so?
I'll bet my gray wig and fake black mustache and eyebrows I can find something wrong. And even in animation, it's just impossible for Catwoman to look frumpy.
Those pickaxes aren't up to code. They must be replaced.
Lucky for you, Warden, we brought the newest model.
Now better smelling and with a no-slip grip.
These are not regulation ball and chains. Replace them. Now!
And to lift prisoner morale, the state has required us to give the prisoners these care packages of toiletries and wholesome magazines.
And as the warden, you're not allowed to inspect them first. Even though you've seen no credentials from us and we just came barging in here, we have authority over you and don't you forget it. Oh yes, there's 3 very special prisoners that don't get a package. The woman handing them out seems to have a problem with those particular guys. Something about an airlock? I don't know. They finish their task and leave. Now we know what that was about. What's in the packages? Their preferred outfits, of course. I noticed we went with the Eli Wallach version of Mr. Freeze. I have to admit, he was the silliest looking. When it's done, the warden and a guard survey the damage.
Everyone's gotten away! Except for these 3. Don't take your eyes off them. We can't lose them too.
I won't let them out of my sight.
Don't worry, Warden, I won't take my eyes off them. They're over there. You're staring at me. What's your point?
Of Gotham Palace with your host, Batman.
Hello, Gotham City. Your regular host, Miranda Monroe, is a bit tied up at the moment.
He announces that he dresses like a bat because he craves attention, and he's going to force Gotham City to give it to him. His army of Batman clones have been busy sabotaging people's TV antennas.
If you turn the channel, or worse, turn off the TV, your sets will explode.
By this time, my family had gotten our first TV with a remote control. So our solution would have been, get everybody outside, crouch in the doorway, point the remote at the TV and push the button, then duck. Anything to shut him up. Robin announces their presence and says, we and our friends are here to stop you.
Then, as the milkmaid said when she kissed her cow, the show must go on.
That's not the... Okay, you got me. 12 Batmen against an army of villains. This calls for some flair. Dancing the Batusi while your clones do the dirty work isn't flair. Music's nice, though. It doesn't go well for the supervillains. Within minutes, they're all down. So are Robin and Catwoman. What did that do to Batman's utility belt? We don't find out because it's never brought up again.
You poor delinquent child. Those villains are all going back to Gotham Penitentiary. But I'll deal with you and Catwoman personally. But there will be no death trap, and I won't be conveniently stepping away. This time I do it with my own 2 hands.
In other words, he's Batman. He can break the rules if he wants to, especially with a load of batnip on board.
Special delivery for a Mr. Batman.
Now, who could that be arriving at just this second?
That's me. To Gotham's newest pop star.
Because he did the Batusi on TV? It doesn't take much to be a pop star in Gotham City.
I'll drink to that. Refreshing. Now, time to deal with you. Ugh, great Scott! I've been slipped a Mickey!
If you didn't see that coming, turn in your bat boots.
Batman, are you okay?
Back to normal, old chum. Spell broken.
As I said, he needed an antidote, and somebody managed to give him one. But who could have come up with such a creation? Who?
I'd be more concerned with them.
Quick, both of you, get behind me.
Whoa, that's the same thing that happened to Joker, Penguin, and Riddler in the prison yard. That means we won't discuss what it means for a while yet. First, we have a 50-year-old loose end to tie up.
The credit must really go to Robin and Catwoman. She proves that even the most vile, depraved, and amoral villain is capable of redemption.
Gee, thanks, Batman.
He says, if all goes well, you'll only go away for about 15 years. I promise I'll be a character witness.
Perhaps there's a better way to show your gratitude.
And what would that be?
What are they doing? Ew!
I told you Robin would be about 8 by the time we started wrapping this up.
It seems everything is back the way it should be.
I still want to know who gave you the antidote.
I'm glad you received the package, sir.
Alfred?
Robin was the only person on the planet who hadn't figured that out.
The bond Alfred and I have is unbreakable, which is why we've had a long-standing arrangement that if I were ever to fire him, it would only be because I was under some evil mind control.
As if Alfred didn't already know that.
And should that happen, I was to prepare an antidote according to Batman's precise instructions and list of ingredients.
Because not only did Batman anticipate the day when such a thing would happen, he anticipated exactly what chemicals would be used and what their counteragents would be.
Always one step ahead, Batman.
One step ahead. One step ahead. And I've been one step behind since the very beginning.
He finally realizes the implications of those dust piles, even though he doesn't know about the ones at the prison yet.
This has all been a well-thought-out distraction by Joker, Penguin, and Riddler. They knew the replica ray was unstable the whole time, which means they never planned to duplicate Earth.
But we sent them up the river.
No, Robin. Don't you see? We put their duplicates in jail. They've been free the whole time.
The whole time you were... The whole time!
Those devilish tricksters needed me as a distraction. But from what?
Knowing those fiends, it's a crime spree targeting Gotham's most priceless treasures and irreplaceable artworks.
Well done, Robin. Exactly what I was thinking.
Which means I thought of it first.
Man, I never get credit for anything.
The perfect crime.
Almost.
To the Batmobile!
My feline pride won't allow me to let those traitors go unpunished. I want to help.
Please, Catwoman. Those venal villains are committing the biggest heist Gotham City has ever seen.
We don't know what it is yet, but it's the biggest Gotham City has ever seen.
You'd be in danger.
You do remember they tried to shoot me into space, yes?
Very well. After all you've done, you've earned the right to join us.
That was easy. Or maybe he suddenly remembered that kiss and decided keeping her around is a good idea after all. The three bad guys are at the Antiques Museum, gathering treasures at their leisure and comparing notes when they're interrupted.
You filthy criminals! And to think you almost got away with it.
But no one can outsmart Batman for very long.
You can outsmart him for a while, but he'll smart right back at you and outsmart your smart before you even realize you've been outsmarted.
If we can't outsmart him, then we'd better outrun him. Hurry, men, or it's curtains!
The piratical penguin always comes prepared.
What? In the movie, he had a whole fleet of them.
Quickly, to the whirly bats.
I want one. And if Julie Newmar is included, I'll take it right now.
Look, Batman! It's their getaway vehicle!
Of course it is. Not something fast like a plane or a helicopter. It has to be a penguin-shaped balloon. Oh, excuse me, Zeppelin, which is German for penguin-shaped balloon.
Whose idea was it to get such a slow-moving getaway car?
Patience, my quizzical quipster. Observe.
Both whirly bats were incinerated and crashed to the ground. Identification required dental records, and Gotham City would forever wonder why Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson were riding around on those ridiculous things with some chick named Selina Kyle.
Robin, time to use our exploding batarangs on those engines.
I hope you really have been working on your biceps, because that thing's about a mile away.
They've blown our engines, you beaked boob!
Silence! And we must move the fray to where this bird of prey has the advantage.
Those are some of the best drawn WTF expressions I have ever seen. Knock, knock. He deduces that they've gone clear up on top of the blimp. Time to follow them up there and have the final fight scene. Because landing this thing and dealing with them on the ground would just make too much sense. Catwoman's helping. Right on schedule, Robin gets in trouble.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Thanks?
Catwoman didn't have her whip in this series. I got my real introduction to it in the Arkham City game. There, it could stretch as far as Batman's grapple, then spring back to a size convenient for filing her nails. I would love to see how they might have pulled off an effect like that in the show. But all Catwoman had to do was purr, and all we guys were whipped already. Assuming anybody notices them and gets them down, that is really going to hurt in the morning. With the riffraff taken care of, it's time to go after the big boys. Chief, you're not going to believe this. I have a dead Riddler in a tutu on my hood. Do I smoke what? That's not good. Penguin decides it's time to go. I thought penguins liked fish. That just leaves the Joker. Before I watched it the first time, I wondered why this movie was rated PG. I would bet fake money that's the reason right there. Of course it's a circus. Where else would the Joker land? That was a camera trick. No actual animated bears were harmed during the making of this film. This circus has a herd of stampeding elephants. Think about that. By the time they're done with him, he'll be begging for real cops.
Well done, old chum.
We saved Gotham's priceless treasures and irreplaceable artworks.
We're standing on top of an out-of-control blimp with nobody at the controls. It's already clipped one rooftop, and the next one it clips could send us and the artworks plunging to our doom. But well done, old chum.
Yes, save them for me. Ta-ta, my stalwart stooges. This cat's ready to walk on the wild side again.
She slides down onto one of the wings and gets ready to jump. Batman begs her to give up her life of crime.
I'll give myself up on one condition.
What's that?
We run away to Europe together, sip tea in a cafe, and live happily ever after.
Catwoman saw the end of The Dark Knight Rises and liked that idea. There's just one small matter to take care of.
Wholly unsatisfying ending.
Unsatisfying for who?
And of course we kill Robin.
Batman said, "It's a deal. Sorry, Robin."
Give me your hand.
I'm sorry, Batman, but I won't be put in a cage again.
No.
If he thinks she doesn't have some kind of plan to survive that, then he doesn't know her at all.
Catwoman.
I never even bothered to learn your real name.
Catwoman was her real name. She told me once right before she tried to cut me up with a giant pair of pinking shears.
Loving you was wrong, but I had to do right.
That's not the song lyric, Batman. In the epilogue, Aunt Harriet has finally found out what the big secret is.
Oh, land's sake. What a wonderful birthday you've thrown for me, boys.
Did we surprise you, Aunt Harriet?
Did you? I knew you two were trying to keep a secret from me, but I never suspected it was this.
Yeah, that was it, a big birthday party. That has to be Alfred's idea.
And I was beginning to think you kept me around only for appearances.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. Turns out she and Alfred had a thing going, and
And you can put an end to the fishing ruse. I promise I won't.
Sir.
You'll have to excuse this, Aunt Harriet.
Don't be obvious about it now. See the bat signal, you two run off. No way she'd put that together.
Where are you two going? The party's just started.
Why, skeet shooting, of course.
See you later, Aunt Harriet.
Oh, yes, of course. What?
See that thing in the sky there? That's a skeet. They're going to go shoot it. I hear they're pretty good eating. There's a lot of fun animation during the credits, so feel free to watch or not. When I saw this was being made, I knew it would either be the home run of the century or Casey at the bat all over again. Casey, take the day off. We won't need you, thanks. This was amazing. My only one singular complaint is that we should have held out for a better Penguin voice. Other than that, it was as true to the series as it could be and still take advantage of things you can do in animation that you can't do with effects. That stuff was kept to a minimum and only had major effect on things like Catwoman's whip. The whirly bats are a nice addition, even if they were probably borrowed from the Halo games. And I still want one. As I said at the beginning, this sounded like it was difficult for Adam West, but he did it and he pulled it off. He didn't have to. He could have pleaded poor health. But he sucked it up and gave us one more offering as the quintessential Batman. Just one more reason to thank him for everything and wish him a peaceful rest. That's how we celebrate 1,000 subscribers around these parts. I hope you enjoyed this little thank you offering because my gratitude is inexpressible. And there's something else I want to thank you for. The comments. I know don't read the comments is like a mantra on YouTube, but comments here usually take the form of helpful information, little tidbits about a show or person, basic encouragement, and behind-the-scenes stories. I can't get enough of that, so please keep it coming. And now that we've had our celebratory look back, let's look forward. Can we make 5,000 by the end of 2019? Tell your friends, share the videos, hire a skywriter, write the address in somebody's coffee phone, whatever your thing is. Let's keep this growing, because if I have anything to say about it, the channel is only going to get better. I'm Irving, and you folks are awesome. She's played you like this before, Batman, but his mind is busy trying to keep from working on his... Yeah. She's played you like this before, Batman, but his mind is busy... God, come on! She's played you like this before, Shit, come on. She's played you like this before, Batman, but he's too busy trying. Oh, come on. She's played you like this before, Batman, but his mind is too busy trying to think about where it's trying to keep from. She's played you like this before, Batman, but his mind is too busy trying to keep.
Bagara.